If you adore dreamy, lush creams, keep watching. Today's formulation was inspired by a Lush favorite, but it uses fewer ingredients, and I've really leaned into the oaty goodness to create a silky, softly fragrant cream that's brilliant for dry skin. The Lush product that inspired this DIY is their best-selling Dream Cream, made with oats, cocoa butter, and lavender. I first tried to dupe this formulation all the way back in 2014, nearly 9 years ago, and I thought that formulation deserved a revisit and a be better upgrade. After all, I have learned a lot in the last decade, so let's get making. We're going to kick things off with the ridiculously simple 2-ingredient heated water phase. You'll need 66.4 grams distilled water to hydrate the skin and keep things light. And to boost moisturizing goodness, 4 grams vegetable glycerin. You could use more if your skin is quite dry, just use less water to keep things in balance. Up next, the heated oil phase. I decided to swap out the primary carrier oil Lush uses, olive oil, for nourishing amber oat oil. It felt like a great on-theme choice, and I think it's a better skincare choice as it contains more linoleic acid and less oleic acid than olive oil. You'll need 14 grams of rich, caramel-colored oat oil. For added richness and a bit of a viscosity boost, you'll need 7 grams cocoa butter. You can use refined or unrefined depending on what you have and how much you like the smell of chocolate. I'm using unrefined cocoa butter from Baraka because I love the smell of chocolate. One of the biggest little changes I made to this formulation when compared to its 2014 grandmother is the emulsifier to fat ratio. The 2014 version used 1% emulsifying wax for every 3.8% fats. I've since learned that we can use way less, so this updated version uses 1% emulsifying wax for every 8% fats. This reduction makes for a far softer, lighter emulsion, even though the oil phase is slightly larger. Our emulsifier is Ritamulse SCG, an all-natural emulsifying wax with fabulous skin feel. You'll need 3 grams. The Lush Original uses a blend of stearic acid and triethanolamine to emulsify, and I tried that in a patron-exclusive video. So if you'd like to see that emulsifier in action and hear my thoughts on it, including why I haven't used it here, please consider becoming a patron at the exclusive videos tier. Because I've reduced the emulsifier, I've also included a bit of a creamy, fatty thickener to keep things, well, thick and creamy. So weigh out 3 grams cetearyl alcohol. And the last ingredient in our heated oil phase is actually water soluble, but I'm including it in the oil phase so it doesn't swell up into a gloppy mess as it would in the heated water phase. This ingredient is the other part of the oaty goodness. You'll need 2 grams skin-soothing colloidal oatmeal. And that's it for the heated phases. Combine the glycerin and water in 1 beaker and the Ritamulse SCG, oat oil, cocoa butter, cetearyl alcohol, and colloidal oatmeal in a second, larger beaker. Weigh the water phase and note that weight, and this is so we can replace any water that is lost to evaporation during heating. I'll be using my hot plate on low to heat the phases, but you can definitely use a water bath on your stovetop instead. It's a good idea to cover the water phase to reduce evaporation. I'm using a 10 centimeter watch glass, but you could definitely use a bit of tin foil or anything else solid and heat resistant instead. Once the oil phase has melted, and both phases are roughly the same temperature, we're ready to start blending. It should take about 20 minutes to get here. Weigh the water phase and top it back up to its preheat weight with some distilled water. If you've covered the water phase, this should only be a drop or 2 of extra water. Pour the water phase into the heated oil phase, stir the mixture, and then grab your immersion blender and start blending. Make sure you start slowly with the immersion blender so you don't spray hot product everywhere. I'm using my new-to-me Bamix immersion blender here. I found this at a thrift shop and I love it. You can find full details on it in the free Humblebee and Me DIY Encyclopedia entry on immersion blenders. After about 45 to 60 seconds of blending, switch to hand stirring. The emulsion will still be pretty thin at this point in time, but don't worry, it will thicken up. Stir constantly until you notice the emulsion start to gain a bit of viscosity. It'll still be fluid, but it'll be more like a thin yogurt than milk. At this point, you can set it aside while we weigh out the cool down phase, which is just 2 ingredients into a small dish. To preserve the formulation, you'll need 0.5 grams liquid Germall Plus. And if you'd like some alternatives, I've listed a couple in the free partner blog post, linked in the description box below. And lastly, for a bit of scent to complement the oaty, cocoa-y scent of the base emulsion, you'll need 0.1 grams lavender essential oil. This is much less complicated than the Lush essential oil blend, which also included rose, tea tree, chamomile, and benzoin, along with a fragrance oil. I used all the essential oils in my 2014 version, but as I was experimenting this time, I decided to let my preferences guide me rather than a Lush ingredient list, and I found I just liked it best with only lavender essential oil. If you'd like to include some more of the Lush originals, you definitely can. Refer to the free partner blog post for some easy ideas and a bit of guidance. Once you've weighed out all the cool down ingredients, add a small glug of cream, whisk to combine, and then scrape and stir that mixture back into the parent batch. Package this lavender oat dream cream in a wide-mouthed jar or tub that holds about 100 ml or 4 fluid ounces. I'm using one that looks just like the tubs Lush uses. It's from Yellowbee, and they also have them in white and translucent. Use this cream as you'd use any hand or body cream. Now, this is a pretty simple formulation, so if you'd like to learn how to fancy it up with some actives or extracts, make sure you watch this video next to make sure you do that properly. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and happy making. Bye!